how you doing? My bad. And Duce, hey, Duce will do it every single time. The Duce will do it every single time. How you doing, my love? I got my boots on the ground.
Bitch, I almost died.
I was taking too long, Dave. I'm sorry. I was making some things and just kind of figuring out what my background and things of that nature. Let's see. Let's get this together. And this has been a very, 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 very long day. Hi. Hey, Pamela. How you doing? Everybody, please stop screaming. James, how you doing today?
What's up, babe?
How are you feeling?
The Duce will do it every time, because guess what I'm sipping on?
Some Duce or some Uncle Nearest?
was a drop call. It was a lot of drop calls because it was a lot of black women that was standing behind Kamala. So if we get we stick together with this situation, we can be very powerful.
I agree. I agree. And that's why I think it's important to like listen to, you know, what everybody's saying, what everybody I mean, of course you can't please everybody, but I think it's important to get down to some of the basics, some of the things that you hear over and over and over, and how we can make a difference and how we can come together. Because I again, like if we're not a monolith and we're all different, so we're all gonna have different viewpoints about certain things, but at the end of the day, we still all want, rights. We still all want to be treated equally. We all still want health care. We all still want women's rights. Come on, baby, take me out of space. Cause it's ghetto here. But we all want a better life at the end of the day. We all are anti-racism, you know what I'm saying? And before even you go to, what do you feel like? What does it mean to you to be a leftist?
What does it mean for me to be a leftist? I can say this. Me looking at my grandfather, who was was part of the Black Panther Party movement in California, and seeing the look of the disappointment of Orange Face getting back in office, it pushed me more into being more of a leftist because I know that we can unite as one. Me seeing Jasmine Crockett, all of these powerful Black intelligent women on the left side, and pushes me more into getting into the political. Even though I don't do political debates, I always stand 10 toes down when it comes down to Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, all of them.
Crockett.
All of them. Even some that don't like Gavin Newsom. I stand 10 toes down with Gavin Newsom because I stand 10 toes down with Gavin Newsom because I stand 10 toes down with Gavin
just crazy. But you can also, draw some art about how you're feeling. You can also, yell, scream, cry, dance, do something. Yes, Lisa. That's funny. That's hilarious. You could be an accomplice. I'm hollering. Hold on. What's he be? Oh, be thugs. I thought she said why. I'm hollering. Depends on how many bodies you got. Oh my goodness. Y'all are hilarious. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, it's okay to have the feels. It's okay to have the feels. You can cry and then just keep it pushing. I mean, it's easy to get set in your feelings sometimes, but I think it's important to have them and feel them. And then one and then two, I want to say thank you for your service. You should not have to experience some of the things that you experience. And I know, like, you took oath, but I love keeping like fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Nah, remember you don't like me. Keep your head out there on it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's a hard that's a hard line. That's a hard thing for me to say, understanding that you're in a different position that I'm in. But at the end of the day, baby, we got your back. And if you just need a shoulder to cry on or yell at for a second, that's fine. But I think it's important to feel the feels. You don't have to be a thug 24/7.
I mean, it's just like, so literally all the black women that are that I look up to in the military, they're on their way out. They're now passing the torch because they're at 19 years of service, 20 years of service, 22 years of service, and they're like, it's time for me to go. Good luck. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. Like, come back. And they're like, no, you definitely got this. And I'm like, how did you guys deal? And it's funny because all these women, all my favorite black women leaders have a story of being discriminated against in the military. They have a story of being counted out because the way we speak is very direct. There's no emotion, because one thing I don't want to hear come out of any of my counterparts' mouth is he was too emotional. And it's like, how did you guys do this for 20 years? Like, I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Please enlighten me. And they're like, you just got to see the bigger picture. The same way, like, we met you, you're going to grow up and be the change that you want to see. And it's like our job to make leaders in the army. And I'm like, okay, but I want y'all to know my mouth is still slick as hell, and I still cuss people out from a day-to-day basis. And they're like, oh, you have to learn to, like, kind of put that anger to good use. And I'm like, okay, well, I started Department of YN activities. And they're like, that's good, but what are you doing for, like, soldiers? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that part.
Yeah.
But then it's like, when I see these soldiers and then I see them on social media, a lot of them have the exclusionary views or rhetoric where they don't think, like, hey, because she's a black woman, it doesn't matter that she's a black woman. All that matters is that she wears this uniform, the same uniform as I do. And I know that if something happens down the line, she will be there. They don't look at it that way. And then it's very disheartening to see that we all took the same oath and we all, like, do the same thing, but you don't care as much as I do, or you don't really you don't take it as seriously. You didn't take it seriously when we were told, look to your left and to your right. That's your family now. It doesn't matter biologically. That's your family now. And then seeing these soldiers also get out, but not get medically discharged, knowing that they can be recalled at any point in time. I'm like, okay, well, now everybody's gearing up for Big W3. And I'm like,
And
I'm
you
not
gonna be
sure
on
my
your
battle,
back.
but okay, I'm not sure my battle buddies have my back.
And that's a dangerous feeling. And that's probably hard hard to bear. It's hard for me to think about it, just you going out there, not knowing if they have your back, not knowing if you're just here for a check and you don't give a fuck about the people that you're with, not knowing if you really going to, grab me and pull me back. Am I going to be no man left behind if something goes down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, but you got a praying grandmother. No, but you got a praying family.
What
Praying.
Kendrick said, both my grandmas did. So ain't
Yeah.
nobody playing with you. I'm on your head.
Hey.
I always tell people that, like, both my grandmothers are gone and passed away. I have nobody. Like, all my army family got out, and like the rest of my army family is getting out because it's coming close to that time. And it's like, dang, now I'm here alone again. But I guess we gonna thug it out, like, and try to be the change that I want to see.
Yeah. And we're here. We are here. But if you gotta come yell and cry and scream to us and then go back out there and say, do what the fuck I told you to do, we here,
I
baby.
literally had to, I'm on leave and my sergeant called me. Now, this man is a 6'5" prior service Marine. And he's like, they're bullying me. And I'm like, I need you not to
Bruh.
call my phone. You're a 6'5" white man. Like, you got this.
Bruh. Bruh.
But he's also one of like I've never had an ally like him before because he literally, we were in a meeting and somebody tried to mansplain the same thing I said, and he was like, excuse me, shut the fuck up. My soldier just said that.
We like real allies. I do say, keep your eyes peeled back. Clock it. Pay attention to who are, your allies, your real allies. Who is going to say something, in those moments when needed. We need 32 gifters to send a heart me. We got 50 people in here. We might can get that. And also, Irene said, tell her that big sis Irene to keep that crown that the women that she looks up to. Keep the crown. Yeah, she has it. You have that crown now. And again, that's why we are family, because we're all kings and queens, but it is just normal for your crown to slip sometimes. And we just got to help each other adjust each other's crown and remind you who we are. You might figure, oh yeah, department and leader, department of the YN. But yeah, I think the hardest part that we're having right now is like we're having a hostile government, right? Hostile government takeover. And I think people want to do something, but people don't know what the thing that is that they can do. So thank you, Mama. So if you can, so if anybody has a blueprint of what that looks like, or do I need to go back and read the books from 1933 when they Hitler was doing his hostile takeover? Thank you, do something. I appreciate that. We're about to get ready to rock and roll around this bitch. And do I need to read on what they did to overthrow Hitler so we can see what it is that we need to do? But the thing is, if we're watching Handmaid's Tale, you got to have somebody on the inside to help take down. He is definitely, he's going to A1 job for him, okay? Right in his ass. Right.
That's why I kind of don't beef with Black women, especially on social media, because I don't know what you're going through, but I do know that you're a Black woman, and I know that you go out into the world every freaking day just the same as I do, and you're discounted, you're not believed. You go into a hospital and like, you're like not heard. And it's kind of like crazy. That's why I'm like, it's a hostile government takeover, and y'all are arguing on social media. Like, let's have this talk behind closed doors. Handle your sister with care. Handle that woman just like how you would want to be handled. Because at the end of the day, the things we have in common is like being a Black woman. And it's not easy being a Black woman at all.
Girl, they have no idea. And you're absolutely right. So it sounds like with this, this whole Unfuck America tour, and then you're trying to go Unfuck America 2.0. All
Please
I
don't call it that. Please call it the melanated tour. I don't know, but not the
No. We're definitely not calling it the Unfuck America tour. I have an idea of what I want to call it. I bought the website yesterday. I just don't want to say it just yet until I start to get things together. But it's nowhere near the Unfuck America tour. Nowhere near that. But I was saying, like, with everything that's going on and they try to do it again, like even the people that's on the tour now, they can't even have their lives and talk about what the Unfuck America tour is going to be about and the good thing they're going to do, because they're too busy fighting with the people who keep talking about how racist they fucking are, which is valid. But I'm
That's
like,
another point I
what?
wanted to talk about that. I feel like a lot of us still have this inherent idea that if it's a white woman who does not fit the typical white woman mold, that we can like kind of trust her. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't trust white women as far as I can throw them. And that's not very far. So when we talk about just like how do we get to this predicament and how do we get to this point where a white woman kind of tore apart relationships between Black creators, we trusted her a little bit too much. And voting for Trump twice just definitely did not sit right with me. And that is definitely why I did not donate.
I didn't donate either. I'm not donating to their cause, to her cause. I didn't know what the fuck it was for the longest. And two, I'm like, I'm not donating to that. If I would give you some money and I want to support you as a creator, I'm giving it to you. Or is this an organization that you created? Oh, okay. No? Oh, okay. Because I don't know that woman. I don't know that lady. Papa, I don't know that man. Hey, CJ.
Okay.
So she voted for Trump twice?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you talking about Mishi or are you talking about Z?
Oh, I'm talking about Z. I don't know the rest of these creators' names, and I really don't give a fuck. It's just about the Black ones.
So she voted for him in 2020.
And 2020 and 2016, yeah.
So it's only this particular time that she like, okay, this is where I draw the line. What is
Oh,
this?
Mercedes did too. That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to learn what a fake ass ally is. That is not an ally. That is really not an ally. And I really wish we would not trust white women like so easily. Yeah, because
It's like,
any
oh,
white woman
create something for me. Here's all my money. Because with the end of the day, they also know that regardless of who may be the wealthiest, who spends the most money or contributes the most to the GDP, and they talk about the African American dollar and how it's like they have the highest buying power, so they know that they'll spend that money and they'll support. So I think it's important that and that's another thing. She's a moderate. So I'm like, and when they say the left is
what the
infighting, no,
fuck
we're
was
not. You
that?
don't even fucking belong here. You're not even the left. So I'm not fighting within my group. I'm fighting you because you at my door talking shit, bitch. The fuck?
Any white woman that doesn't respect that several people told her to stay out of a conversation that she cannot contribute to as a white woman and just totally disregarded Black people and people of color and like their opinions, I mean that should have just been the red flag. I feel like a lot of the times we don't see the red flags. We just see, hey, this white woman looks like Miss Frizzle. We could trust her, right? No, absolutely not. No, you cannot. Don't do that. Let her actions show you if you could trust them or not.
Facts. What are the actions? What is the work that they've done? Do they speak out? Do they hold their own white tea counterparts accountable? Would they even sacrifice their, anything for what's right?
Like the accomplices and the allies in the 1964 civil rights movement, like they were accomplices. They were the real deal. Like, this is an ally. They had mugshots. They were getting beaten the same as the black people who were also protesting. They were doing all that. They showed us that they were down for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we just trust, and that's a thing that Jim Crow started too. Like, we just trust white women a little bit too much just because they're soft tone. They're dangerous as fuck, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah, respectfully, because what happened to Emmett Till? As soon
Okay.
as they start to cry, somebody dies, and that is dangerous. And I forgot who was in here, and they talked about how because I was talking about how there are some real allies, because we do need allies, but they need to be vetted. It needs to be proven, and they just like, oh, I support you, because that could be a plan. It could be somebody like fucking Z. Yes, white woman here is fucking dangerous, and because Harriet Tubman had allies, right? She had different houses that she would store slaves in on the way that she had to go to. Hey, Berta! So allies are needed. Even she needed them to free the slaves that she helped free. So yeah, we know it's important. But somebody else was saying, which I wish I knew too, but I wish Harriet Tubman would come to me in my dreams and speak to me and tell me what she did to vet her YT allies. Because like what because really only time proves your allyship, right? If you're true, if it's right. I mean, if you're true about what you say, unless they orchestrate a scenario to prove that they're ally, which lets me know that you're trying to set me up anyway. But I'm saying, like, usually only time tells. So I wish there was like a way. She probably didn't always have time when she trying to free slaves. So I'm like, I wish that she could tell me how she vetted them.
But we live in the golden
Time and
age
definitely
of,
consistency, yeah.
yeah, we live in the golden age of like the internet. Look these people up. Look at like what they're doing. Like, I know a lot of the times, like, you guys are like, damn, Oya be just doxing the fuck out of people. No, I'm not doing that. But I will let you know if it's a fake ass ally. And I'm tired of using the word ally. And from now on, I'm just going to call them accomplices. Because if you are really down for the cause and you're taking constructive criticism and you're using your white tea privilege to end white supremacy, you're a fucking accomplice and you're a badass.
Mm-hmm. Come on, you badass motherfucker. Ooh. I don't know. It might make me think about that. I like that.
But moving forward, vetting, not trusting that twice voting orange Mussolini with
True, Taylor.
fucking with $100,000 and letting people just like, you know, letting people know that this is not a fake movement. You need to fucking vet people. You need
Yes.
to be more organized. And if you see that it's not organized, say something early so we don't all like kind of follow this shit. And
Yeah.
don't donate don't donate money to just anybody. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I only donate to black creators. Only.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I donate to a white creator, they have to like have shown me that they were like
Mm-hmm.
really down for the cause.
And yeah, that's why I'm like, if I see a black creator, I'm not always trying to like boost your algorithm, sign up for your whatever. Any way that I can help push you forward, because we don't always get that privilege. And like we said, like I said, if we want black privilege, we have to give it to each other. They have white privilege because they give it to each other. And even though we can't always or necessarily do it systemically at the moment, it starts with the little things. It starts with the small things. And again, you guys, when moving forward and how we do, I'm gonna put like a feedback tab on the website. We're open to, can y'all drop some Mickey coconuts for Berna? She just sent out 5 subscriptions, so you know what that means, right? You get a subscription, you get a subscription, you get a subscription. shit because even she knows, baby.
Not like us.
They are not like us.
They not like
Love
us.
you. I want to see a bunch of coconuts right
They
now.
not like us. They not.
Yeah, so I'm there'll be a feedback tab. I'm always open for feedback, criticism, help, whether that be your time, whether that be your dollar, your advice, a resource, some information, or working on the back end, helping with the website, helping with the graphics. Shout out to Miss Martine who be coming through. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna reach out to her. Any way that you if you know of a way that something that a tour or anything like this, what we want to do needs, and you can provide either even a service, reach out to me and let me know. Good night, love. Reach out to me and let me know. And also, too, this is what I'm going to ask our department.
You know, you probably Oya, right?
Right, but I look at the name and I'm one of those visuals, so if I see it, that's what I'm gonna say. What does it look like? What does it look like taking down a hostile? What steps need to be taken to keep your government from taking over? Is it a book we need to read to see how they did it? Do we have any advice on like what that looks like, what moves we can make? I mean, we can go talk to these people. What do we need to tell them other than bitch vote 2026 and your vote matters? Like that.
It's connections. Like if you know that you have somebody that may work for the federal government, it's connections, research, and reading. One of the things that I read in Kamala Harris's book was like, I didn't really think about it until like I started getting more in depth to the book. But like Donald Trump's campaign was the biggest psyop fucking weapons warfare that we have ever seen in the fucking history of the United States. He's been doing this psyop since 2016 and it worked. And it worked because Republicans are really, they understand that, hey, we don't necessarily need to like, get out there and talk on like, or do a filibuster or like whatever. What we need to do is attack these people in their media. We need to hit these people that may not know how to research, these people that are really ignorant and don't know how to fact check. They don't know that with an hypothesis, you're trying to disprove that hypothesis. You're trying to prove yourself wrong. They don't know about the Constitution and there's 27 amendments. They don't know about any of that. So where they hit them was in social media. And you started seeing on Facebook a long time ago that they had to put up there, hey, this is not factual. We're letting you know now that this is not factual. And they had to do that because they were getting so much flack for posting misinformation. And it's crazy.
And which
And
is what's crazy that he would fight to not have to say this is not factual, so that they could spread whatever propaganda that they wanted.
exactly. And then another thing is understanding that our differences make us stronger. And I know everybody thinks the military got rid of DEIA, but they didn't get rid of UCMJ law. Equal opportunity is UCMJ law. They didn't get rid of that. I just helped somebody get forcibly put out the military because they wanted to call a trans soldier a he, she.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I found out exactly where that soldier was, where they were stationed, their first sergeant and their commander, and I filed a complaint. Like, it's know your rights, know your laws, know your rights, have the information, and then also have subject matter experts. Like I put in, I don't know if you read that when I said how we debate the tactful debate plan. Like I plan to have like on a debate panel different subject matter experts, a legal one, a freaking immigration lawyer, a freaking medical, anybody that's in the medical community that was like a RN or a nurse practitioner, just like different stuff like that, because they can't combat factual information. They don't want to hear it, but they can't fucking combat that shit.
Leroy said that Republican politicians always had the promise of 75% of the evangelical vote if they got rid of Roe. All because what's that one dude name? He's passed away now. I think he was back there with Reagan, and he was like he needed them to get them to vote because allegedly it was
Ollie North?
no. He's a part of the deep thing too. Deep state. Not enough people fact checked him. Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. They don't even know how to.
And a lot of the times you'll hear me when I ask, like, when I'm on a panel with MAGA, hey, how many amendments are in the Constitution? Because if you can't tell me that, you're definitely not qualified enough to have this conversation with me. You don't even know who your congressman is.
Hmm. I think that's important too. To just at bare minimum know your senators and your representative in your district.
This war is not going to be fought with weapons necessarily. What is going to be fought with is information. It's going to be fought with the power of knowledge, the power of education. It's going to be fought with the communities that are outpouring into other communities and letting them know, hey, these are your rights. And it's always been like that. That's how the 1964 civil rights movement like got so big, because we were outpouring freaking information and disproving like really weird exclusionary rhetoric. Like I had somebody tell me that the other day that the 15,450 trans service members, they were not meeting the standard, which in fact that's not true. And you can even see that with one of the creators on here. His name is Eli, and he's a trans soldier. He
Mhm.
exceeds the standard.
Right?
He is like,
I
he's
know. I didn't
exactly,
know those.
yeah, he's exactly what the military wants us to be. They want us to be competitive. They want us to compete with each other to gain rank. They want us to get the accolades. They want us to be defense language proficiency experts. They
Mhm.
want all that. And that's exactly what he was doing. He did exactly what the Air Force told him to do. But now he's being put out based on the assumption that he can't meet the standard.
Which is crazy. When he's been nothing but amazing to this country, to his service members, takes his
And
name.
yeah. And another thing, if one group of Americans' rights are being trampled on, it is not too far off that your rights will be trampled on. It doesn't matter if you agree with, like, the group of Americans' rights that are being trampled on. Eventually, it's going to touch you. And I love it when they say, well, it's not affecting me now. It is. Common taste chaos. And I keep saying that shit wrong, but I don't know how to say it because every time I try to say it, my fucking Prozac has worn off and my Adderall. But that
That's
is
so
a part of
hard.
that is a part of your constitutional rights. You have the right to not have us as military dabble in your affairs, as in you're protesting. You have the right for us to not bring arms against you. He just took that away. It's
Mhm.
affecting you. And eventually it's gonna bite you in the ass.
What's the heartbeat law? I need to check on that. Hey, Frida. If the next Republican politician couldn't promise the heartbeat bill and putting in conservatives judges, then the RNC won't push them. Hold on 1 second. And also too, Leroy, if you don't, I don't know if you're busy or anything, but would you like to come up and kind of explain it
I
to
know
I'm
what
gonna
it,
look it
I
up too.
know what it is, sis. So, Georgia, 2019, they was pushing this bill to stop parents from having women from having AB before Roe v. Wade was overturned. So it's if they detect a heartbeat, you cannot get an AB.
Restrict abortion access and making it illegal one. Yeah. My sister's in the first proponents of the laws argue that the life begin the confession. But bitch, give me my life insurance.
Yeah, and that's the law they're using to keep her on life support, even though the doctors are telling them that the chances of the baby surviving is less than 20%. The chances of the baby having disabilities is about 90%.
Reporters argue that these laws are medically inaccurate and that they place undue burdens on women seeking abortion. I agree. Just like medically, and then also too in Louisiana, I think it is. So misoprene, I think if it's not, I may be saying it wrong, is used. It's like in the second step of an AB or a DNC, but it's also used to stop hemorrhaging after you have your baby, right? And then
Yep.
then the mother can lose her life if she's losing too much blood. So if she's not be able to get that particular drug, I can't say that particular shrub, right? So if she can't get that and she loses their life and you want to get rid of that, then there's going to be a lot of babies without mothers. So you're pro birth, but you're not pro life because you don't care about the lives of these mothers. Hence why that lady, I don't know her name, and please tell me somebody in Georgia is on life support.
Something Smith. I can't remember her first name right now. So it's so much fucked up shit with that thing. But her situation.
I know Handmaids, yeah, and and it was already an episode on Handmaids. Adriana, yes, Adriana.
Adriana Smith.
They did that on Handmaids earlier in the season, incubating the baby.
When she originally went, she went there complaining of head pain, and instead of them doing tests to see why she was having head pain, they gave her Tylenol and sent her home.
Which is crazy.
The next day, when her husband came back and he found her passed out, by the time they got her back to a hospital, she was declared brain unalive. And the family is fighting to get her off of this. But this is why this is dangerous and people don't understand, because these other red states are going to try to push bills like this to make women an incubator.
Men, just say y'all hate women. You just need them to have babies at this point. Not even men, males, because there are some real men around here, and I don't want males to confuse themselves with real men. And that senator or representative asked her with the is it mifeprine? I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm saying it wrong. Anyways, but that particular medication, he's like, do you test them to be pregnant first before you give it to them? And they all looking at him like, I can't believe you over here making the laws. You know nothing, because she literally just had the baby. She's hemorrhaging. You just had a baby. Why
you can have a positive pregnancy test 3 weeks after you didn't had your baby?
Mifepristone?
Yeah. The HCG level in your body doesn't drop. The HCG level is what determines if you're pregnant or not, and the scores on that is determining the viability of your pregnancy. That, along with your progesterone and estrone. The issue that I would like for us to also include in this dialogue is we often talk about the red state, but we don't talk about what it does to straining the blue states. So when red states have laws like this, people flee those states or try to go outside those states to get the medical care they want in a blue state. If that blue state does not have the capacity to handle the overload of the people who already live there, and including the excessive amount from the other states, it creates a long chain for medical care in which people have to wait for. Now, to a degree, you would say like they can just all go to different places, but that depends on your insurance. We have to think about that. Insurance cover. It's not like all insurance is accepted everywhere. So that's what causes this chain of event to happen. There's a huge trickle effect of this. As a matter of fact, IVF clinics have now stopped working in some of these red states because of this, because your ratio of having a miscarriage, if you're going to IVF, not IUI per se, is higher because you are having fertility problems. So
with all that said, you're causing a strain on the blue states to hold the weight and the future of maternal care and even postpartum care for the country, because the red states are not doing the job in a way that takes care of the mother. Maternal and postpartum are mother. Those are mother health.
Hmm.
Embryo and prenatal is mother and baby health. So we're not looking at that, and we're going to have a huge problem when we start to see women not being able to get, like with me, I had to wait those 3 weeks for my DNC. I had to wait 3 weeks with something unalived inside of me.
Hmm.
3 weeks. And my body was, I wasn't necessarily getting sick, but my body was refusing to accept. Here's the other element. My body was refusing to accept that I was no longer holding a viable entity, and continue to progress. This happened to me twice now. Continue to progress as if I was pregnant. And that fucks with your head.
Hmm.
That fucks with your head. So now you have to deal with the psychological issues that it has on women when they are having to wait to get the medical care that they need for maternal, prenatal, or postpartum.
Yeah.
And just to put this into perspective, remember it was during Joe Biden's administration where a Supreme Court ruled that it was for the states to decide if they wanted to legally let people have ABs in their states. Okay, well, then it came out that service members are federally protected from that. We can have one even if we're in a red state.
Hmm.
It was already putting a strain on blue states because we would have to travel to a blue state in order to have an AB. That depletes readiness. That depletes your forces to fight for the night. Because along with that, we're traveling, it's getting paid for. Obviously, we're getting reimbursed for that. But now we're going to have a bereavement period. And then we're not going to have the checkup that the Army or like medical DHA, that DHA needs to do for our mental health. It's mission essential that female soldiers or female identifying soldiers are taken care of reproductively. They have now, and I remember telling y'all this when I first met you, we can't even get the morning after pill from the pharmacy anymore. It used to be no questions asked. Like you just walk up and get it. You can only get it 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But we can't even get that no more. Then on top of that, he took away women's program and security, like women's leadership security program. It's not looking good, guys. It's really not. And it's really like, wait,
Oh,
there's
yes.
an update on, okay, go ahead.
Yes, so there's an update on the VA. So in my IVF journey, the VA started taking care of my IVF treatment. But of as of January this year, I got a contact, and I have it in writing as well, from the VA women's nurse, that this administration has made it, and to a degree I can understand it, and to a degree I can't, has made IVF no longer a priority. So if you're trying to get your IVF assistance through the VA, it is probably not going to happen for a full year. They have decided to drop that as a priority program in their concept of making America more fertile again. They've decided to drop that as a priority from the program and make ovarian cancer the focus. Because the staff, now here's the thing, here's what I didn't know. The staff at the women's clinic has a 3-tier priority or pillar thing that they work on for fertility, cancer, and mammograms, like ovarian and mammogram stuff. Those are their 3 things. They have decided that they want them to just focus on ovarian cancer because they don't have the staff to keep the other 2 up to par. So that has been dropped from the focus of the VA now. So that's why I'm paying out of pocket now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm paying out of pocket. So now I'm going to come out of pocket probably 17 grand, maybe 11 if I'm lucky. Maybe 11 if I'm lucky. But yeah, the VA would normally take care of that. And from what the nurse practitioner or the head nurse, whatever you want to call her, at the VA informed me, the fertility assistance program and active duty will also be suspended eventually.
Mm.
And that's something they gave us under the Biden administration.
Yes.
It became that we didn't
Yes.
have to have referrals from an OBGYN in order to get IVF.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
So
they're
that's
taking
completely
that
gone.
away.
That's going to be phased out. They want to just focus on ovarian cancer. I mean, yes, ovarian cancer is very important. However, if you have a well-staffed medical, if you have a well medical staff, there's no reason why you can't do all of it, because that's what women's health is about. It's not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just focused on if you have cancer or not.
Which is crazy because that's probably like
Exactly. Was it Lisa? That's what the contradiction is. Trump said he was the father of IVF. So how are you the father of IVF while you are stripping IVF access for veterans who served their country? And some of us have our infertility issues based off of the type of work we did. And therefore, we deserve some kind of assistance. And in addition to that, just because you serve doesn't mean you can't be a mother. Now, the other half of that is that when we're talking about military service and readiness for that, if they're trying to push us out of the military, period, this is another incentive for women who go into the military to say, okay, they're not even going to help me make sure my health is okay. Think about that.
Recruitment numbers go down.
yeah.
Correct.
Right now, they're trying to put a band-aid over that problem because they're kicking out 15,450 trans service members. And I'll keep saying that freaking number.
How many?
15,450. Some of these people, some of these trans service members have been in this service for
High
18
ranks.
years.
Yeah, they're high
Yeah.
ranks.
They have until June 6th to identify themselves and they get a severance package. The severance package is calculated by base pay, time in service, and your rank. So imagine somebody that is E6 that has been in for 18 years and their base pay, depending on if they're Air Force, Army, or Marines, that's a good bit of chunk of money.
Wait, but there
But
is a caveat around that. If
yeah, I was gonna say
in the military and in the federal government, if you are under investigation, your pay can be suspended.
exactly.
So there
Then we
may
don't know.
hold on a second. She asked, if you're under investigation, your pay can be suspended. For example, USAID, they have anyone who took a rift, or if you want to call it a buyout or pay or anything like that. What they did is they put specific people almost in a blanket formation under investigation of quote unquote corruption without any evidence. Because they are put on an investigative status for conduct, their pay for their retirement or their buyout or their RIF has been suspended. This can also happen with active duty because you're seen as in a what would you call it, a penalty kind of status, or a what's it called? Oh yeah, I don't remember what the term's
I
called.
know what you're talking about. You're
You're put
considered
in a
on duty or something like that.
administrative leave, but administrative leave with no pay. Because if you get captain's mass or court-martialed or whatever in the military, and they put you on administrative leave with no pay, most of the time it ends up of you being kicked out. But sometimes you can get administrative leave with pay, but you can get administrative leave without pay in the military. So now you have people not getting their pay.
Wow.
And so it kind of looks like what they're going to do is what they did with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and how Joe Biden had to reinstate those veterans' rights. They had to reinstate those veterans' benefits. They got back pay. And it's like, is that what you're trying to do to these service members?
It's psychological warfare. It's putting them under as much stress as possible to see if they'll break, to hope they will break, and so that they will not be useful or be able to come against this administration. In addition to that, in the meantime, what damage has it caused for them financially? Because once you have any type of financial strain on your record or background, getting your security clearance or getting specific jobs may become difficult. Think about that.
And even at the lowest job, like what, 92 golf, you still need a secret clearance to even like put people in that they got their meals at like freaking the DFAC. Like it's some wicked stuff going on. And I know you
Yeah.
guys get tired of me like saying stuff about the military and stuff like that. But what's about to happen and what's happening currently, you now soldiers can no longer extend their contract for a year. They've taken that away. You have up until 90 days of your ETS date to re-enlist or take your chances in the street.
Tell them what ETS means. I can't even
Oh,
say
end
it.
of service, end of time service.
Which means
So that means that you're no longer in the army or in the military.
there you go.
He's literally trying to pinball us in to avoid the recruitment crisis that's about to happen. Because even though 15,450 is less than 1% of the United States military population, that's still a pretty big chunk of people. Those are people that are on an MTO, a mechanized, I forgot what it's called, but it basically tells you how you're supposed to have this person at this rank be in this position.
Yeah. So to
So
have so many of this many officers, so many of this many level officers, so many of this many officers, like you're supposed to have a specific percentage of each rank level in the military in order for it to deem functional. There you go.
he's about to up the freaking veteran unemployment rate, which he already freaking upped that. Joe Biden had lowered it from 3.9% post 9/11 to 2.8%. That is the lowest it has ever been. And in January 2025, Trump more than doubled that to 4.2%. It's about to have grossly negative effects on like real life
Yeah.
people.
So DDT makes a really good point. Yes, if you're under investigation or some kind of performance improvement plan, if you're a federal employee, you could possibly have your SF-50 not reflect as in hireable, as in rehireable for the federal employment, and you could possibly get a dishonorable discharge from the military. In addition to that, when you're talking about veterans and them coming out, you're talking about dishonorable discharge or possibly jipping them of pay while some of these people are suffering from PTSD. You are adding on to the layers of pressure with a broken VA system and no rehireable, like no place where they can really find to reuse their skills. You are about to increase your DV, domestic V, self unaliving, homelessness, and general violence population of this country. That's just
And
something to think about. Over.
and that's something that during the Obama administration, he was really serious on. It's because people, the American people, were talking about how these soldiers were coming home and they were like having self-unaliving. The self-unaliving rate was really high. The violent crime rate was really high. And because you, as the American people, said, hey, we're really worried about this, he said, cool beans, I'm going to get with the top officials. One of the people that he got with was Sergeant Major Daley, former Sergeant Major of the Army Daley, and started the ACE card movement.
Leroy, before you go, you said something about the Medicaid bill.
Oh yeah, that too.
Is that coming out tonight? He said it'd be live at some point. Is it what else? It's gonna be on PBS or like the Congress YouTube? Where do y'all watch it on?
I think
C-SPAN.
it actually should be going live soon if I'm not wrong. If
Yeah,
if it's not live right now,
I'm
fuck 'em.
about to drop. The last thing I want everybody to pay attention
Thank
to,
you,
in all
Leroy.
honesty, is the unemployment strain that's going to happen on different states. The amount of people, like right now, I'm having a really hard time finding a job
Mm,
because my niche is now there's like a flood of it's like a flood of people with my background
Because he didn't
into
hire
the
anybody, so y'all.
yes, exactly. Before they were all hired over there, and now all of us are on the market with similar background skills, trying to find a place where we can fit in. So I'm about to probably go back and just get a paralegal certificate to just bump my resume. But here's the thing: can states handle the level of people that will be on unemployment from the end of June, July?
Mm,
And can they handle the second wave of that come October? Will they be able to handle that? Because blue states will not survive as well better than red states only because more people will try to move to the blue states thinking that there's more jobs there because we tend to have the meccas of population to have those employment things. How can we take on the additional burden of people who will be called transplants? So what will happen to those governments or those funds, those state funds for unemployment? And also if people are on a performance improvement plan and terminated and the way they handled it, that they have to handle it a certain way, otherwise they can still pay it out. They will not be eligible for unemployment.
wow.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure we were thinking about we talk a lot about the blue states, we talk about a lot about the harm that this administration is causing us, but we're not focusing on how the blue states are going to be the ones to help carry us through this.
Mhm.
And if they have the capacity to do it, and that is how we move forward. We need to start thinking about ways to strengthen these blue states and these, if you want to call them sanctuary cities, so that they can handle that influx of people who are going to transplant or move to that direction. That's all I wanted to let you know and bring up those updates for the VA on IVF.
I appreciate you, Freedom. We're about to get off here.
Sorry.
If
You
anybody,
didn't drop me.
yes, I got you. Go over to my YouTube and hit the like button really quick before we get off, you guys. Hey, Mr. Thomas. Again, we are now curating our own thing moving forward. We will have our own tour. We're just taking it one stop at a time. Okay. I have a name. I just don't want to reveal it just yet. I brought the website yesterday. So if you guys want to help, if you offer a service, website site design, graphics, logo, you want to donate, you want to recommend some creators, you want to any suggestions, I'm open. Please DM me, reach out. But I think it's important seeing the outfall of this Unfuck America tour and realizing they do not speak for us. Not only are they not speak for us, half of them really MAGA. So that's the plant inside the house. Okay, the call is coming from inside the house. So I think it's important for us to, do it our way. Any last words? Oh yeah, before we get out of here, love.
I just have one request for the tour. Can you have like a veteran like be there to advocate for us? Because if I could, I would. But
I know you doing
Article
the hard
88
work
is
too.
just I'm really playing around with my life with Article 88 on this social media.
Don't tell people. Don't tell people they don't even know. It's Article
Just saying.
7, 8, 9, 10, y'all.
Article
Y'all.
31, yes.
Okay, you're doing the real. I got you. That's it. So if I can veteran, be there for representation. Got you.
And I'll be going live in an hour.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go wash my arse. And I'm gonna be in bed, but I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna set my phone in there just to keep the numbers the numbers up. Let me see if I can find my damn auto clicker. Maybe I can get that thing in a tap. The number of Fed employees entering the job market is going to be insane. This is he fired like, let me see. I think he fired like total maybe 400,000 people already.
Yeah, and the messed up part about it was these are veterans, these are military spouses. Again, it affects readiness because if you put a soldier in a financial bind because they're not able to provide for their household with a second income, it looks really freaking bad. And so then he came out and he was like, oh, if you're a military spouse, we're not going to fire you. But then he still ended up firing military spouses. So, yeah.
So
Oh, and then
basically,
China is on LinkedIn and they're marketing themselves. It's like fake, like little LinkedIn pages for jobs that nobody's getting called back for. China is like, oh, you're a federal worker. Let's get some information from you. Tell us where you worked. What did you do?
wow.
Yeah. So there's that.
Naquan, any last words? Are you here? And now,
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
But this one,
whenever you do, just in case, so if somebody want to watch it, I do want to watch it. Something.
It's going live right now, and I'm just trying to find out where we're at.
Okay.
But I think I might. Oh, I have it. All right, it's on YouTube. I'm about to send it to you right now.
Okay. Put it in the source dump so we can watch it with anybody else. I love you too, honey.
All right, got you.
Thank you so
Love
much.
ya.
I appreciate you. All right, good night. I love you guys. Hold on. First of all,